No, well, I'm working every day on an ending. And when that ending comes, I hope it's quick and fast. Don't you?
Dolly Parton is one of the biggest icons in country music, known for her glamorous outfits and signature look. But this also leaves many people curious about the real person behind that image. What is she hiding under the elaborate wigs and makeup? Does she ever show her true self? Find out when Dolly takes off her makeup and leaves us speechless. Dolly is known as a multifaceted icon of music and philanthropy. She didn't earn this title by accident. Let's follow her journey. Dolly Parton started her career in music in 1967 with the release of Hello, I'm Dolly, after having already found success as a composer for other artists. With the release of this record, she was able to launch a solo career and a successful duet with Porter Wagoner in the late 1960s. During the 70s and 80s, she achieved unprecedented levels of popularity, topping the charts and selling millions of records. Parton had a resurgence in the new century, releasing albums on a variety of indie labels, including her own, Dolly Records, after a string of albums from the 90s that failed to connect with listeners commercially. She is one of the most successful musicians of all time, having sold over 100 million albums across the world throughout her 50-year career as a beloved country music icon. Many of Parton's albums have been certified gold, platinum, or multi-platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA. She is tied with Reba McEntire for the most singles by a female singer with 25, and she has also topped the Billboard country music charts. Not only that, but she has released 110 songs in the last 40 years and holds the record for most top 10 country albums of all time, with 44. Some of her more than 3,000 songs include Whitney Houston's worldwide smash single, I Will Always Love You, which reached #1 on the US country charts twice, Jolene, Coat of Many Colors, and 9 to 5. Dolly Parton has shown herself to be more than just a singer with her performances in critically acclaimed films, including The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, 1982, and 9 to 5, both of which were nominated for Golden Globes. In addition to Rhinestone, 1984, Steel Magnolias, 1989, Straight Talk, 1992, and Joyful Noise, 2012, her career also includes the following: 10 CMAs, 5 Academy of Country Music Awards, 4 People's Choice nominations, 3 American Music Awards, and 11 Grammys, including a Lifetime Achievement Award, are just a few of Parton's many honors. She has received nominations for 4 major awards: the Oscars, the Grammys, the Tonys, and the Emmys. She received 2 Hall of Fame inductions, one in 1999 from the Country Music Association and another in 2022 from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. When Parton isn't performing music, she co-owns the Dollywood theme park and other entertainment venues with the Dollywood Company. The Dollywood Foundation is her vehicle for charitable giving. The foundation promotes literacy and combats poverty in her hometown of East Tennessee. How did her music career begin? Find out more by continuing to follow Dolly Parton's upbringing. Born in a small one-room log cabin in Pittman Center, Tennessee, on the Little Pigeon River, Dolly Rebecca Parton was born on January 19, 1946. She was the 4th of 12 children born to A.V. Lee, Caroline Owens, and Robert Lee Parton Sr., the 4th of 12 children. Rebecca Dunn-Whitted was her great-grandmother on her mother's side, and she adopted the surname as her middle name. Dolly's father, whom everyone called Lee, worked hard in the East Tennessee Highlands. To support his family, he worked as a sharecropper, then ran a small tobacco farm, and then did construction work. Although he never attended college, Dolly often praised her father for his intelligence, especially in running a successful and profitable business. A.V. Lee, Dolly's mother, was the breadwinner of the family, raising 12 children. She became the mother of 12 children at the age of 35, having gone through 11 pregnancies in 20 years, the 10th of which resulted in twins. Although she was always ill, Dolly's mother kept the house running and told the children stories of old ballads and Smoky Mountain folklore, which is where Dolly got her musical talent. Immigrants from the British Isles who settled in the southern Appalachians in the 18th and 19th centuries brought with them traditional Welsh songs, which the A.V. Lee family treasured. Dolly Parton's musical roots can be traced to her Pentecostal preacher father, Jake Owens, and the fact that the Parton children attended church regularly. Many of Dolly's most cherished childhood memories were formed on a farm in nearby Locust Ridge, where her family moved when she was a young girl from Pittman Center. At Dollywood, the theme park named after her, you can see a replica of their Locust Ridge cabin. She wrote My Tennessee Mountain Home in the 1970s, influenced by the pastoral setting of the farm and the surrounding woods. The farm was sold and then purchased by Dolly in the late 1980s. Her brother Bobby helped restore the farm. Dolly Parton often used the term poverty to describe her family's financial situation. In exchange for her safe birth, her father gave missionary Dr. Robert F. Thomas some cornmeal. Parton's songs, such as Coat of Many Colors, reflect the hardships her family endured. Music was an integral part of her upbringing in the Great Smoky Mountains, where she lived in a modest cabin on a subsistence farm. At age 6, she began performing at the church where her grandfather served as pastor. At age 7, she was playing a homemade guitar, and when she was 8, her uncle gave her first real guitar. At age 10, Parton made her television and radio debut on CA's Walker Show after starting her singing career in East Tennessee. When she was 13 years old, she recorded Puppy Love and had a performance at the Grand Ole Opry, where Johnny Cash urged her to trust her gut. Dolly Parton relocated to Nashville to further her singing career after graduating from Sevier County High School in 1964. Together with her uncle Bill Owens, she first achieved fame as a successful songwriter, penning songs that Bill Phillips and Skeeter Davis would go on to sing. She signed with Monument Records in 1965 at the tender age of 19, despite her preference for country music, and was promoted as a pop vocalist. After her 1966 single, Put It Off Until Tomorrow, became a Bill Phillips smash, Monument gave her permission to record country music. Both Something Fishy, number 17, and Dumb Blonde, number 24, were her debut national singles, released in 1967. Her successful country music career, which included duets and solo performances, began with her debut album, Hello, I'm Dolly, which featured these songs. Dolly Parton was persuaded to join the group of the famous country music performer Porter Wagoner in 1967. In addition to a slot on his roadshow, he extended an opportunity for her to appear regularly on The Porter Wagoner Show, his syndicated television program. At first, many viewers were upset that Parton had replaced Norma Jean, as she described in her book from 1994. A common way for the crowd to express their displeasure was to chant Norma Jean's name. Parton, nevertheless, won over the crowd piece by piece with Wagoner's encouragement and support. The deal that signed Parton to RCA Victor was largely due to Wagoner. As a first step in cementing their new collaboration, RCA issued a duet featuring Parton and Wagoner. This version of the song was a cover of The Last Thing on My Mind by Tom Paxton, which had been released in late 1967 and had made it to the country top 10 by January 1968. This achievement started the duo on a 6-year run of top 10 songs. Just Because I'm a Woman, Parton's debut solo song for RCA Victor, was released in the summer of 1968 and reached a respectable number 17 on the charts. The subsequent 2 years saw her solo work, which included the classic In the Good Old Days, also called When Times Were Bad, fall short of the success of her duets with Wagoner. The Country Music Association nonetheless went ahead and awarded the pair the title of Vocal Group of the Year in 1968, however. Parton's solo albums remained unappreciated. Parton and Wagoner founded Opar, a publishing firm, in 1969, and Wagoner was a co-producer and owner of roughly half of the company. This gave him a personal stake in Parton's success. Jolene, which Dolly Parton released at the end of 1973, was her biggest success at the time. Not only did the song make it onto the Hot 100, but it also topped the country charts in February 1974. In 1976, it became Parton's first UK hit, peaking at number 7. Even though Parton's duets with Porter Wagoner were popular, she always preferred to pursue music on her own. Performing their last duet concert in April of 1974 and ceasing her appearances on Wagoner's TV show by mid-year, she opted to depart Wagoner's organization that year. They recorded their last duet album, Say Forever You'll Be Mine, in 1975, but Wagoner kept on helping produce her recordings until then. During this time, Dolly Parton had her biggest success with Jolene, which she released in the latter half of 1973. It reached #1 on the country chart in February 1974 and also did well in the UK. Notwithstanding the popularity of her duets with Porter Wagoner, Parton decided to go solo in 1974 and quit Wagoner's group. Despite Wagoner's continuous involvement in record production up until 1975, they had their last duet concert in April and stopped making appearances on his TV show by mid-year. In 1974, Parton recorded the smash single I Will Always Love You, which was about her breakup with Wagoner. Parton turned down Elvis Presley's offer to record the song because of the unfavorable publication terms. She ended up earning a lot of royalties from that choice. In 2005, for the film Transamerica, Dolly Parton composed the original song Travelin' Through, which was featured on her touring and holiday album. The song garnered Parton her second nomination for Best Original Song at the Academy Awards. Some people threatened Parton's life because she decided to include a transgender lady in this song in the film. Despite all this backlash, Parton nevertheless managed to accomplish another 2005 milestone, topping the country chart. Brad Paisley's heartfelt song, When I Get Where I'm Going, used her unusual harmonies, which she used to accomplish this. Dolly Parton released her debut song in September 2007 under her own label. Better Get to Livin' reached a peak of 148 on the Hot Country Songs list run by Billboard. Backwoods Barbie, her studio album, was released on February 26, 2008, and this single served as its precursor. It was Parton's most successful album to date, entering at number 17 on the Billboard 200 Albums chart. The greatest debut position in her legendary career, and penetrating the country chart at number 2. The title tune was one of 5 singles included on Backwoods Barbie. This song is from the soundtrack for 9 to 5 the musical, a stage version of the film in which she also starred. Parton released a moving video following Michael Jackson's death. The two had a close friendship. She conveyed the profound influence that Jackson had on her and the world by expressing her grief and her personal thoughts on his life and death. Did she pursue any of her other interests or abilities? Find out. A wide-ranging career in film and television for Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton first gained widespread attention in the 1960s and 1970s because of her frequent performances on The Porter Wagoner Show. In the 1970s and 1980s, she was the host of 2 variety shows under her own name on television, and in 2008, she made guest appearances on shows like American Idol. Parton also appeared in television roles in addition to these appearances. While appearing as a special guest on a Cher show in 1979, she was nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a variety program. It was Parton's goal to reach a wider demographic in the mid-1970s. Dolly Parton's 1976-1977 television variety show was her debut. The show was a ratings success, but it only ran for 1 season because Parton wanted out of her contract because of the stress it was putting on her voice. In 1987 and 1988, she tried her hand at another variety show also named Dolly, but it too was short-lived. In 1980, Parton made her big-screen debut in the comedy 9 to 5, co-starring Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin as a secretary. The film brought attention to the National Association of Working Women by addressing the issue of gender discrimination in the workplace. For her performance, Parton was nominated for 2 Golden Globe Awards, Best Actress in a Motion Picture Musical or Comedy and New Star of the Year Actress. The title song, which she composed and recorded, was nominated for both the Golden Globe and Oscar for Best Original Song. This song was a smashing success as a single, topping the Billboard Hot 100 and winning 2 Grammys for Best Country Song and Best Female Country Vocal Performance. The song was included at position number 78 on the list of 100 Years 100 Songs that was compiled by the American Film Institute in the year 2004. The movie 9 to 5 was a huge success at the box office, bringing in more than $3.9 million over its first weekend of release and more than $103 million around the globe. The Motion Picture Herald recognized Dolly Parton as the top female box office star in both 1981 and 1982. This honor was bestowed on her as a result of the film's popularity. Late in the year 1981, Dolly Parton started making her second film, which was a musical titled The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. The film was released in the year 1982. Additionally, she was nominated for a Golden Globe in the category of Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy for her performance in the film. The film was positively praised by critics and went on to become a commercial success, earning more than $69 million all over the world. Following a 2-year hiatus from the film industry, Dolly Parton joined up with Sylvester Stallone for the production of Rhinestone in the year 1984. The comedy, which was about a country music artist who was attempting to turn an unknown into a music superstar, was a failure both critically and financially, earning little more than $21 million against a budget of $28 million. Additional acting roles: Steel Magnolias, a film version of Robert Harling's play of the same name, was the film in which Dolly Parton made her triumphant comeback to the world of cinema acting in the year 1989. The movie was favorably welcomed by both viewers and critics, and it did very well in the United States, making more than $95 million there alone. Parton has also starred in some television movies throughout her career. Some of these films include A Smoky Mountain Christmas in 1986, Wild Texas Wind in 1991, Unlikely Angel in 1996, in which she played an angel who was sent back to Earth after a fatal car accident, and Blue Valley Songbird in 1999, in which her character expresses her life through music. Straight Talk, a film that was released in 1992 and starring her with James Woods, was met with a range of reviews and made around $21 million at the box office. The film was a commercial success. Not even one season of Dolly Parton's variety show, which made its premiere in 1987, was taken up for further production. During the film adaptation of the long-running television sitcom The Beverly Hillbillies, which was released in 1993, she made a cameo appearance as herself. Between the years 1962 and 1971, The Beverly Hillbillies was a sitcom that was shown on television. Dolly Parton has lent her voice to a number of animated television shows during the course of her career. Under the guise of Urban Chipmunk, she provided her own voice for an episode of Alvin and the Chipmunks that aired in 1983. During the year 1994, she lent her voice to the character of Katrina Eloise Murph Murphy, who was Miss Frizzle's first cousin. This character appeared in the episode of Magic School Bus, titled The Family Holiday Special. The episode of Designing Women that she starred in was from the year 1990, and she played the character of the Guardian movie star of Charlene's Child. She appeared as herself in the episode. Dolly Parton portrayed a real estate firm owner in an episode of Reba titled Reba's Rules of Real Estate. The episode was inspired by Reba's own real estate business. In addition to that, she was a guest star on The Simpsons in the episode titled Sunday Cruddy Sunday, which featured her in the year 1999. Dolly Parton appeared in the role of herself in both the Halloween episode of Bette Midler's short-lived sitcom Betty and the 14th episode of Babes, a show that was produced by Sandolla Productions and co-owned by Parton and Sandy Gallen. Both of these episodes were co-produced by Parton and Gallen. The years 2000 were the ones in which both of these appearances took place. During her guest appearances on the Disney Channel series Hannah Montana, which featured her real-life goddaughter Miley Cyrus, she played the part of Aunt Dolly in the episodes titled Good Golly Miss Dolly in 2006, I Will Always Loathe You in 2007, and Kiss It All Goodbye in 2010. These episodes were aired in 2006, 2007, and 2010, respectively. As a result of her performance in the role, Dolly Parton was considered for consideration for an Emmy Award in the category of Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series. In the comedy film Frank McCluskey's C.I., which was released in 2002, Dolly Parton portrayed the part of a mother who was overprotective of her children. Additionally, she had a cameo appearance in the sequel to the film Armed and Fabulous, which featured Sandra Bullock. The sequel was titled Miss Congeniality. The documentary The Book Lady, which was published in 2008 and centered on her activism for the literacy of children, featured her as a participant. In addition, she was featured in the documentary. Dolly Parton was planning to reprise her part as Hannah's godmother in the musical comedy film Hannah Montana the Movie, which was released in 2009. However, the character was ultimately removed from the screenplay. Hannah Montana the Movie was released in 2009. Are you able to provide me with some background information on Dolly Parton's fascination with wigs? So, let's find out, shall we? What's the story behind the iconic wigs worn by Dolly Parton? Throughout her career, which spans over half a century, Dolly Parton has been famous for the spectacular wigs she has worn. She said in her book, Songteller: My Life in Lyrics, that when she was a little child, she had a fantasy of wearing wigs and looking as beautiful as the stars that she watched on television. Since the time that she was able to purchase them, she has taken advantage of the comfort and style that they provided, and ever since then, the world has seen Dolly very seldom without a wig. As a result of the fact that her distinctive style, which consists of towering wigs, has become synonymous with her name, it is impossible to image her without one. One of the ways that Dolly was able to express herself and add a bit of elegance to her appearance was by wearing wigs. Furthermore, they assisted her in distinguishing herself in the country music market. Dolly's natural hair was thin and flat, and regardless of the styling techniques she used, she was unable to attain the desired appearance without inflicting any harm to her hair. Wigs provided a solution which not only saved her time but also shielded her hair from the effects of intensive style. The wigs that Dolly Parton wears are frequently as tall as her body, and she is popularly quoted as saying, "I wear my high heels and my hair as high as I can get it." During the early stages of her career, she experimented with a variety of hairstyles, such as the bouffant, curly hair, bob cuts, long hair, and bangs. Even though it is uncommon to see Dolly without a wig, she typically does not wear one, and instead styles her natural hair while she is at home. Throughout the years, she has amassed an outstanding collection of wigs, and she has expressed that she finds them to be handy, particularly because she has a hectic schedule and that they provide a wide range of possibilities. According to the new series that Dolly Parton has created for Netflix, the country music superstar has admitted to possessing hundreds of wigs. She has at least 365 wigs in her collection, which is equivalent to having one wig for each day of the year during the year. For the sake of keeping track of her extensive collection, she and her hairstylist give her wigs names such as Dragzilla and Chunky Monkey. These titles provide a peek into Dolly's natural hair. In the year 2020, Dolly Parton gave her followers a fascinating glimpse of her real hair, despite the fact that she is famous for her towering wigs. She uploaded an old image of herself that was in black and white and included a high, brushed-back haircut that did not appear to be a wig. The fact that this picture was monochromatic meant that the true color of her hair could not be determined. Nevertheless, it did provide admirers with the opportunity to get a glimpse of what her hair looked like back in the day. When she is at home, away from the scrutiny of the public, she decides to appreciate her natural hair and style it without the glitz and glamour that her wigs bring. It is a rare admission of Dolly's personal history that she chose to post a photo of her natural hair from the past. This choice reveals a different side of her than the glossy image that she typically shows. Fans and admirers were interested in what Dolly looked like when she was not wearing her characteristic wigs and saw the photos, which piqued their attention. Dolly has been able to better manage the obstacles that come with being a public person because of the wigs that she wears. The use of these products helps her save time and allows her to swiftly create the appearance she desires without causing her natural hair to suffer damage. This option, which is both practical and practical, guarantees that she will always keep her attractive beauty, regardless of the circumstances. Is there anything else that Dolly Parton held dear than her passion for wearing wigs? Let's investigate the links that bind the family and the love that lasts. Dolly Parton was the fourth child out of a total of 12 siblings when she was born into a substantial family. Other members of her family include Willa Dean, David Wilburn, Coy Denver, Robert Lee, Stella May, Cassie Nan, Randall Houston, who has died away, Larry Gerald, who has also passed away, the twins Floyd Estelle and Frida Estelle, who have also passed away, and Rachel Ann. As a result of Dolly's upbringing in such a household, she developed a strong feeling of duty and caring for her siblings, both of which have continued to play an important role in her life. Taking place in Ringgold, Georgia, on May 30, 1966, Dolly Parton tied the knot with Carl Thomas Dean. Carl Dean, who was born in Nashville, Tennessee, on July 20, 1942, has been a consistent, although secret presence in Dolly Parton's life. Dean has always wanted to remain out of the spotlight, and she has only sometimes accompanied Dolly to public events, despite the fact that they have been married for more than half a century. Their marriage has been able to stay grounded and private, away from the prying eyes of the media, as a result of their resolve to avoid exposure. The fact that Dolly Parton Dean is listed on her passport is something that she has disclosed in interviews. Additionally, she has been known to use her husband's surname while signing contracts, even though she does not use it in her professional life. She frequently expresses her fondness for Carl's romantic gestures, adding that he surprises her with unplanned acts of love, such as penning her poetry. She also mentions that he surprises her with these acts of love, in spite of the fact that the general public has the impression that they do not spend much time together. Dolly is adamant that this is merely due to the fact that Carl prefers to avoid being seen in public. In 2011, Parton took satisfaction in their long-lasting marriage, mentioning that the pair repeated their vows in May 2016 to commemorate their 50th wedding anniversary. This marked another milestone in their long and happy partnership. Dolly and Carl were instrumental in Nashville in raising Dolly's younger siblings, even though they never had children of their own. Their nieces and nephews affectionately called them Uncle Peepaw and Aunt Granny because of the caring role they played. Dolly Parton even named one of her restaurants at her Dollywood theme park after her Aunt Granny, a moniker that stuck. Another example of Dolly's dedication to her loved ones and personal ties is her role as the godmother of Miley Cyrus, an actress, singer, and songwriter. Dolly Parton's life as a devoted Christian has impacted her music and her principles, as she has stated time and time again. She discussed her spiritual life in the New Humanist magazine's January 2024 edition. Parton maintained a more complex perspective on her spirituality while recognizing her Christian background. According to her, she would not describe herself as religious. Though I come from a deeply religious family, the things that have strengthened my faith the most are the self-belief and the tremendous support that I have had in my life. I've been lucky to have supportive loved ones who have encouraged me along the way, such as my family and my Uncle Bill. A lasting impression on the community via charitable giving. Dolly Parton has been an outspoken supporter of literacy and other charity initiatives since the mid-1980s. The Dollywood Foundation, which she founded in memory of her father, who was profoundly dyslexic, serves as the primary vehicle for her charitable endeavors. A prime example of her dedication to education is Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, the main project of the charity. The goal of this initiative is to encourage early literacy and reading by providing children with a free book every month from the time they are born until they start kindergarten. More than 1,600 towns across the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and Ireland are currently part of the program, which reaches around 850,000 kids monthly. Parton gave her 100 millionth book, a copy of her children's picture book Coat of Many Colors, to the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. in February 2018, marking a key milestone in her career. The Library of Congress recognized her for the remarkable impact of her literacy program, and this generous effort gained her praise. Parton has received several honors for her charitable work and commitment to education. Among her many accolades are the 2000 Honors Award from the Association of American Publishers, the 2001 Seal of Approval from Good Housekeeping, and the 2002 Galaxy Award, the first ever given to a person, from the American Association of School Administrators. In 2003, she was also honored with the Chasing Rainbows Award in the Parents as Teachers category, as well as the National Center Child and Family Advocacy Award and the National State Teachers of the Year Award. Beyond literacy, her dedication to community involvement has no bounds. The College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville asked Parton to give the graduating speech in May 2009. She became the second person in the university's history to receive the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters at the event. The Chancellor of the institution, Jimmy Cheek, praised Parton for all that she has done during her life: perform, promote, philanthropize, and push for education. Parton has been involved with several humanitarian endeavors, including those about education and literacy. Love, laughter, and lots of good food. Dolly's Dixie Fixins was her 2006 cookbook. A further way that Parton's wealth has helped revitalize economically depressed areas is through the Dollywood Foundation, which has created employment and brought in tax money. Parton has also donated to organizations that fight diseases including HIV, AIDS, and the American Red Cross. In December 2006, Parton generously donated $500,000 to build a cancer center and hospital in Sevierville. The facility would be named after Robert F. Thomas, the doctor who gave birth to her. To contribute to the project's funding, she coordinated a benefit concert that drew over 8,000 people. In the same year, Parton and fellow singer Emmylou Harris used their songs to promote Peter's compassionate treatment of dogs in an advertising campaign. Do you like her simple everyday image? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next